Hey, how are you today? I'm in Phu My Hung, District 7, just a certain section. This is here to talk about Vietnam a bit. Here's a boating club on the river, a bunch of private boats. Not a big boating class here because of the type of country it is, but once the wealth increases, it will definitely be getting more and more. The river looks up a bit. The river goes up and down quite a bit at times, 3 or 4 few meters at a time, depending. So yeah, so today gonna talk about Phu My Hung. I'm just talking about everything going on. Today is a Sunday, and I like Phu My Hung. It's just a very nice, clean area. A little more money here for spending on things than where I am in. I'm in Tan Thuan District, which is about 10 minutes away, not even. So apparently in Phu My Hung, they don't even have a police force here. They have their own security here, except for on the main road. I have seen police on the main road here, but once you get off the main road and behind, there's no police at all. So told they have their own private police. They pay money to keep this place fairly clean, so it is a clean. There's no food vendors, like little street food vendors with their carts. They don't do that here either. They're not allowed. So, but this is more of a Korean district. A lot of Koreans here. You go to some of the signs, they're in Korea as well. But there are Vietnamese here, Vietnamese stores, Vietnamese restaurants, no question about that. So, but it's along the river, and it's a nice area. If you get into one of the apartments, I'm sure the view is quite nice over the river. So, but yeah, the thing with Phu My Hung, Vietnam, is that things are, I would say, after this COVID thing, almost back to normal. I'm not sure how the businesses are doing. I hear different reports how things are going. Some are doing good, some are not doing so good. So I don't know what to believe anymore. So, but the way the global economy is going down, I'm sure every country is going to be affected. So anyway, like I'm here. There's a Highlands Coffee. I can zoom in there. That's one of the famous chains over here. It's Highlands Coffee there, and yeah, it's a very popular chain. It's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. I do go. I don't really like their coffee. I like the Vietnamese coffee, but I don't like their brand of coffee. If anything, I like they sell in the stores in canned coffee. I like their canned coffee more so than their fresh coffee. So, but yeah, it's something that's here chilling. A lot of people. I'm here to help people make decisions, move forward in their life if they're having problems. As in, take the courage to move forward. I kind of did that myself. I came from Canada and came here, and I guess the COVID thing 2 years ago made me decide to stay here. So I didn't really want to go back, and now it's kind of difficult now if you don't have the double jab to leave Canada. So, and yeah, there's lots of stories on that, but I'm not going to talk about that. So I'm just talking about my adventures here. My sons come here in 2 weeks, which I'm quite excited. They're going to be here in May. This is April still. And so I'm kind of having coming up with a itinerary, what we're going to do. And they're going to stay at my place, and then we'll probably take some buses to where we want to go, and also the local things here in Vietnam, local markets and all that kind of stuff. So But yeah, I just find Vietnam right now for me, I find it very peaceful. Some people don't. If anything, I don't. Saigon is very busy. It's a very busy city, and to be honest, I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay in Saigon. For at least another 6 months, maybe longer. But yeah, it all depends what's happening with my son. The two are coming over. One's going home in 2 weeks later, and the other one's here for 3 months. And if he decides he wants to stay longer, he can, no problem. So, but we won't know that until he gets here, see what his plans are, what he wants to do. Lots of opportunity over here, and so I'm doing some online marketing. That's what I'm doing here, trying to establish a following of what I do here in Vietnam. I'm going to do more of a tutoring of what's going on, and so yeah, I do stuff online. I'm doing some online investing on my stock market, my stock portfolio, which that's a subject for another time, as in yeah, that's a subject for another time. But yeah, I do that, and but yeah, here I go on my motorbike. That's my motorbike in front of the camera that you're seeing right now. It's a cheap one, but I'd like to get another one probably maybe in 6 months from now. I'm thinking, we'll see. It's been good to me. It gets me around, and for me, owning a car, if I was ever decide to own a car in Vietnam, and at least in Ho Chi Minh City, yeah, I don't know. It's the infrastructure here in Vietnam is very congested, or not very laid out well. There's certain parts that are definitely meant for cars. They got some freeways. Even this road here, cars can go up and down quite well. But the problem is you don't really have a lot of parking. Like now we got parking across the street there. This is Phu My Young, so it's a little different. There's it's not as congested. So there's places to park in front of the restaurant. But for example, that pink store that you see in front there, it's a baby store. I think it's something to do with baby food and stuff. Yeah, it says baby. Actually, yeah, it does say that. It says baby and kids. So it's funny. You do get a lot of English here still. Even everybody thinks you can't read, but a lot of English. This is in Korea area. So you go in the major malls too. They got a lot of English signs and discount sales in English. But anyway, getting back to the parking and car, just there are for sure down certain buildings and malls that have underground parking for cars, but it's just so difficult to move around. You can't go very fast, except on more of the freeways and stuff in between districts. But to go to a major restaurant in a downtown that's a very nice restaurant, there's no place to park. So either you got to find a parking area where and then you got to walk to your destination. That could be up to a kilometer, maybe not so. But so then you got to worry if you can get out of that parking establishment at a certain time, and on top of that, then you have to get there. So for me, you're just better off getting a taxi. You get a taxi, and there's many ways to get a taxi. There's like a Grab, there's Grab motorbike, Grab car, and the regular taxis. I think there's two major ones in here that would only deal with Minasan, and there's another one, Melo or something, the green ones, green cars. You want to know which ones to deal with. But other than that, you got the Grab, and what I like about the Grab, Uber, well, it's not Uber, but it's kind of like an Uber. The company's called Grab. Is you know your cost before you go, so it's going to cost you X amount of dollars. Yeah, pretty good. So, and also like there's two others, GoJet and called B, and I think they work together because I was on their app and ordered the B because they were quite reasonable, and a GoJet showed up. So they must do some cross promoting or service each other. So, but getting back to cars and stuff, yeah, it's just crazy. Unless you really do a lot of traveling and going to other cities or across town and you're worried about weather, depending on your job, it's really not conducive for me. And I don't know if I would ever get one. I'm not saying I won't, but unless you had like a property 4 hours away and you don't want to take, obviously you're not going to want to take a motorbike unless it's a really nice one. Scooters get kind of tiring after an hour. Yeah, and then they got limo buses, like little big vans, big buses. Like there's a van right coming in front of me. I think that might be a service van. So you get luxury vans, they call them limos, so you can get to these places fairly reasonable. Like I know if I was going to go to a place called, what was it called? Dalat? It's a city I like, Dalat. It's going to cost around $300,000-400,000, and that's not even $20 US. That's 3-4 hours away. Now, mind you, you're not going 80 clicks because of the roads. Well, certain roads are. I shouldn't say that. Certain roads they are high speed. But so yeah, you got to really look at what you want the car for. For me, to be honest with you, I think it's more of in Vietnam, everything's about, especially Saigon, everything's about the money. Appear rich, look rich, be rich. Not like being interrupted by a crazy boat. I don't know if I can zoom in there. There we go. Yeah. So yeah. Everything. They got Ferraris, Lambos, everything. I've never seen so many Lambos and high Porsches and everything than I saw in my country, in Canada. Like it's just crazy. And they have import taxes too. Like it's crazy what they have to pay on the taxes on the imported vehicles. So certain cars have certain rates, and of course now they're starting to produce their own cars called VinFast. It's a company out of Hanoi. So yeah, so far as getting the car, it's kind of because everything, at least in the city, everything's so close. You can order anything you want, and you can go anywhere you want quite reasonably. You can order a Grab car or a Grab motorbike. Like from my place, one time I went from my place to downtown District 1. It's a 20-minute ride. Obviously, we don't only go like 30-40 clicks at a time, kilometers. And so that was 15-20 minutes, and it wasn't even $1, so US. So, and other companies are more expensive. So, it all depends what you want. But if you're all dressed up and you want to go to a fancy restaurant, you might not want to do that option, which is fine. Then you just order Grab car, and I think they're roughly around 3 times the price. So if the bike was typically the Grab is around 50,000, you probably pay 150,000, and that would be like 20 minutes away, and you got a car, air conditioning, all that stuff. So usually, rule of thumb, I figure it's just over $4 US per 100,000 VND. So that works out pretty good if you want to stay air conditioned. And a lot of people do in the mornings, take their car, if they're going to work, they'll get the Grab cars. And obviously in prime time in the mornings, they're more money too because everybody wants them. But a lot of people take the Grab bikes, and if it's not too hot, depending on what type of work they have. But for me, I used to do Grab quite a bit, but not anymore. I got my own bike, and it's just nice to hop on and go. And actually, it's even cheaper than the Grab bike because I don't have to sit there and wait, and I can just go, and usually with like 30,000-40,000 VND for a bike ride. Well, right now it costs me maybe 70,000 to fill up my gas tank. So minus repairs, but and that lasts me a while. So, and it's nice. You can just go up to the restaurant, place where you want. So and Google Maps works good too. So it gets me where I want to go. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, just doing a little tutorial here on how I kind of operate in Vietnam. I go to cafes quite a bit because a lot of stuff in Western countries, they don't have a lot of parks. Mind you, I have posted, I was at a park not far from here, and this is a semi-park, but and they got more in District 1 now. They got a really nice one kind of along the river, kind of walking path and slash park, if you want to call it. So it's yeah, it's just it just is what it is. And down here there's 2 high schools, very private schools for the Koreans and for young kids. I think one's a high school, I think the other one's a university, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so right now, yeah, like everything I need is in Vietnam, like everything. Like I was just on this morning, I was on a website, something like Amazon, looking at products, looking at returning a product, and everything else. Like very inexpensive to order stuff and get delivered, and as long as you don't want it yesterday, it's good. It usually shows up a few days, depending on the type of product, and it tells you how soon you get it. So. And there's a few companies like that, so yeah, it's like right now everything seems good here. I know in the West they got the Amazon and everything else, everything's pretty quick. But everything in the West is more spread out, I find. Well, unless you get to big cities. But if you're out in a small town and stuff like that, at least in Canada, you got, I wouldn't say fewer options, but you got more freedom definitely in the rural areas, which I do miss because I'm from the rural part of where I was living. So, and I do miss that part of it, but like here, everything is hot. Everything's so hot, so sometimes it's nice to get into AC. So anyway, yeah, it's it is what it is. So anyway, I'm Richie Rich. Welcome to my documentaries of Vietnam. I'm going to be talking more about everything from restaurants to cafes to what's going on. So just kind of a broad overview of what I was doing and how I get around and everything else. Might get into more details of certain topics. So yeah, it's a beautiful day here. And we're actually getting in the rainy season, so you never know when the rain comes. It usually comes late afternoon. So, and usually for an hour or so, but well, sometimes you get it all day too. So anyway, I'm Richie Rich. I got my book, Freedom, and my friend's website. Check them out, masterteacher33.com. Get your life design report, also known as the Dia Kania report, he calls it, and will help you find your purpose. Anyway, that's it. I'm Richie Rich. We will talk to you later. Bye for now.